a good one. And a little birdie has told me the power of the tongue only works when something is negative, because she has been saying she will get 12 million shillings every day, but the power of the tongue doesn't hear that. It only hears the bad things. That, don't say bad things about yourself. They come true. But when you call yourself a millionaire, what is changing? What is happening? The power of the tongue is not really that powerful now, is it? So hilarious. I love the things you tell us on the side. Thank you so much. So our conversation today on What Around Town is setting boundaries with parents a sign of healing or open defiance? I want to read for you something. So yesterday, a friend of mine shared an episode of the Oprah podcast. So Oprah was exploring a rise in trend that's going on. Many young people are choosing to go no contact with a family member. It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans have cut off ties or is estranged from their family. Once considered taboo, family estrangement is now being openly discussed by people of all ages who are redefining what healthy boundaries look like in family relationships. And that amazing episode was so eye-opening for me. Let me tell you something. We are culturally taught and raised to believe that our parents can do no wrong, that a child is just supposed to sit there and take anything that comes from a parent. But when you dive deep into some of these conversations, then you stop having those blanket statements and expectations that everybody should be understanding of their parents. Parents are just human beings. They are human beings, but there's people who genuinely have toxic parents, right? And I mean that they are better off having been raised by somebody else. In the US, they have something called Child Protective Services, CPS. I'm sure we have an equivalent. I don't know how powerful it is and whether that dog bites or it just barks. What I'm going to say is, if at all you have been raised in a household where the only solace and peace you got was when you went to school. There's children who, them being in boarding school is the only form of normalcy they get, because their home has never been that a safe space for them. They have been raised by animals. I don't have any other word to describe them. I really looked in my grammar arsenal, and that's all I could come up with on such short notice. Animals have raised those children. I understand. If you have decided that for you, instead of getting into a verbal spat, because I'm not for insulting a parent, I'm not for beating a parent, I'm not for disrespecting a parent, but I am okay with somebody walking away and making that choice after all other interventions have failed. Because we are also not very big on therapy. Some of these parents don't even think that there's anything wrong with them in the first place. The adult is always right. You're lucky. This is all you got. This is who God gave you with. Do you know how many people don't have parents? You should be grateful you have parents. That is such bad and horrible gaslighting. If you can't put yourself in someone's situation and empathize with them, at least try and be quiet. Cindy, don't tell people what they need. They're the ones who know the work they've had in those shoes that they wear every day. So I am okay with people who choose to walk away respectfully. What I am yet to understand is the people who have decided to make a mockery of the conversation and probably turn it into content. Okay, just hear me a little. I understand sometimes your lesson is good to share it. It could impact and someone else could learn from it. But I don't know. I would rather you go to therapy and deal with it with a professional. We don't know Jack, right? So when you take to TikTok to insult and disrespect your parents, then that's a whole ball game and a whole new conversation there. I don't know what good will come of it. Have you met us online and how foolish we can be? I just feel like it's almost adding fuel to the fire. A lot. Too many voices, too many opinions, many of them empty debes with bundles. You understand? So I'm not pro. And whatever this new generation is doing is very admirable. It is good that you want to make things better for yourselves mentally, right? But I'm just like, everything doesn't need to be shared. Everything doesn't have to be shared, right? Okay, end of rant. But I want to hear from you and what your 2 cents is on this. Would you rather, is setting boundaries with your parents a sign of healing or a sign of defiance? And if you can, try to tell us what setting boundaries looks like to you. That'll really be good as well. Someone could be listening who just needs, a little clarity, and maybe the universe will use you to change somebody's life, right? At SpiceFM KE on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or send the message to the short code 40127. It's toll free. You can add me as well at Yolanda Mulwa on all the social platforms. #